Ready.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the pod. You're listening to Thanks We Hate It. I'm Mickey Adkins.
And I'm Hannah Lehman.
And we're doing more Am I the Asshole today?
I'm excited. Episode 19.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I can't believe we're almost at episode 20. That's wild.
I know. Also, we might be doing a couple Am I the Assholes in the next couple months because of our podcast being every other week for a while. It's a really good, first of all, you guys liked the last one a lot.
Yeah, y'all really enjoyed the last one.
We got some really good feedback on the last one. Yeah. And second of all, because we have to record some of these in advance, and sometimes the topics are not as relevant to 2 weeks later.
Yes. Yeah,
when we talk about it.
It's hard to talk about current events when you know that it's going to be up in like 2 weeks or 4 weeks from now.
Right.
So we don't want to bore you guys with old news. So
that's like when we're talking about it, like something's changed drastically since then, or something else has totally come out.
That too.
And that's it. Nope, I didn't have anything else to say. How are you, Mickey? How's it going?
I'm hanging in there.
Tired.
I am tired. We are very busy. Well, you'll know. Hannah is also coming to visit me in a week. So the fun thing about, being a YouTuber full time is that your schedule is a lot more flexible. So you can take trips and stuff a lot easier. But the downside is that when you do take a trip, that you have to prep a bunch of stuff beforehand. Your, job doesn't necessarily stop just because you're taking a trip. So your workload gets doubled for a few weeks before that. So we're doing that right now, which has been busy, but
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How are
we
you
just
doing?
have a busy next couple of months. I feel like this time of year always gets pretty busy, but for everybody in the world, but also we just have a really packed few next couple of months that Mickey and I are both trying to get some videos and podcasts pre-recorded for our own sake.
Yep.
So by the time this episode comes out, I will have returned from Tucson. So future Hannah, Mickey, I hope you had fun in your live stream. I'm going to live stream with Mickey on the Love is Blind live stream, and we're going to record some podcast episodes. So when I'm editing this, I'll edit this before I go. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's move on.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just busy, I'm doing lots of stuff, but otherwise I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. I got my COVID shot yesterday.
Nice.
I got the new one for 23-24. I managed to get in early. I really wanted to get in ASAP because I have a wedding to attend.
Yeah.
And I'm coming to, and I'm traveling, going to be on a plane and stuff for Mickey. And I'm so glad I got in, but the guy that did it sucked.
Oh no.
I've had so many vaccines. I get so many from my health issues. I am not afraid of needles by any stretch of the imagination. I get them so much, but I also know who's good at it and who's not. I had to drive quite a ways to go to one that had an appointment available, and they were slow as can be. They had absolutely no care in the world. I got in at about noon when my appointment was at 11:20, and this guy, he was a full-blown pharmacist. I'm feeling my arm today. It's all red, and I have a big bump, like a big swollen bump under the skin where he jabbed me. And trigger warning for people that don't like needles. He jabbed, and then he did not, I don't know what he did, but he had to reposition his hands after the needle was in and then try to get the rest of it in. And then I felt some dribble down my arm. He didn't even get it all in my arm.
Oh my God.
And I'm just trusting. I mean, something went in because I could feel a bump. I felt something, and my arm's really sore, but it was dude,
what are you doing?
He was, oh my God. Yeah. And then beforehand, I thought it was weird because he asked me if I was afraid of needles. Before he was unpackaging the needle. I don't know if he was just making small talk, but he was are you scared of needles?
Why would you ask that?
But why would you ask that? Because if I was, that would just what were you going to do about it if I was? But I was no, I have Crohn's disease. I'm very used to needles. Yeah. And then he told me I was going to get the shingles vaccine because long story, but immune compromised people, even if they're not of age get it.
Yeah.
And I changed my mind because you usually get pretty sick after the singles vaccine. And I was just too busy this week and didn't want to be like down for the count.
Yeah.
And so he was like, well, you couldn't get it anyway because you need a prescription from your doctor to send to the farm. Like he just, after the shot, he like sat there and needed to talk to me about other random shit when I'd never seen this person before in my life. I'm like, dude, what are you going to do when you have 50 vaccine appointments in 2 hours? Like,
gotta go.
Slowest human being on the planet, and he was not good at it.
That's frustrating.
I'm spoiled by other good healthcare workers. Like, it's like vaccines is an art, and people that do it all day in and day out are like, you barely feel it. My flu shot from my PCC, she's amazing. Barely felt it.
See, that's what I'm like. I just don't understand. First of all, like the ineptitude, but also like the audacity to be inept and slow at the same time. Like, pick a struggle, sir. You know? That's so frustrating.
I was, and in case anybody was, no, I was completely polite, did not say anything, of course. I have very high tolerance for like anybody doing jobs like that. Like I wanted something from him. I did not say anything, of course. That sounded bad. Not that if I didn't want something from somebody, I would be rude, but
I know what you mean.
I just meant that, like, no, I am incredibly tolerant of anybody doing like customer service. Yeah. Because I've done it. I know it sucks. And I know how many shitty people they get treating them like crap. Like, of course, like I was super friendly and everything. But once I left, I was like, dear Lord, have mercy on me. Wow. It took over an hour to get in and out of there.
That's insane.
Anyway.
The thing that really irritates me about that too is that when you're late to the doctor, they like read you the riot act, right? Like they'll cancel your appointment if you're more than 10 minutes late. But then when they're like an hour late, they're like, you know, what can you do? Can't be helped. Sorry. And you're like, hello? Could you at least apologize and like be sweet about it? God. Yeah.
I used to work in healthcare, and that was a consistent like specific complaint from like our reviews and stuff, were people that were like, if I'm late, you guys, we didn't charge people if they were late or canceled though. Last minute, we never charged at least because of that reason. But that was a specific complaint, is that like, I'll wait in the lobby for a half hour, 45 minutes for my 10-minute appointment. But if I'm late, I get lectured, you know, or I get, and it's like
so frustrating. But anyways.
All right. Should we just like get right into it?
I think so. I think we're doing it.
See if we can get 3. Did you have anything else for our chit chat?
I don't think so.
All right. I just went to the ones that are trending right now, and I'm just going to read the one with the most upvotes at the moment.
Okay, great.
And it's undetermined though, or it doesn't have a final say
nice.
on it yet,
I kind of love those, honestly, because then we don't get like a spoiler.
Me too. Yeah, or like a bias for it before. Yeah. Okay. Am I the asshole for saying not again and not being happy for my daughter's pregnancy?
Okay.
On phone, my daughter got pregnant the second year into college. Okay. It was not a good time. My husband and I stepped up so she could finish college, which she did. She just graduated and just got a job. The problem is, at the moment, she cannot afford childcare or rent since her job kind of sucks. We were hoping she would be moving out by the end of the year. She told us today that she is pregnant again. When she told us, I said not again. She asked if I was happy for her, and I told her no, that we will not look after another kid, and we already wanted her to find her own place by the end of the year or next summer at the latest. She's pissed at us and we got into an argument. She thinks we're assholes. I'll let Mickey take that one first.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of...
So I'm sort of two minds about this, right? Because I guess this is an important moment to make the disclaimer that I am a child-free by choice person. And so I just relate differently to topics of childcare because, like, to me, it's not that I don't like babies. Like, I think they're really cute and cool. And, like, I do very much have the, like, ovaries exploding when there's a newborn nearby moment because they're just so freaking cute. But, like, the idea of, like, permanent childcare or, like, being responsible for someone else's baby to me is, like, already a thing that I'm like, ugh, like, I don't want to do that, right? Especially if it's not mine. Like, the diapers and the screaming, like, all of that is, like, very overwhelming to me. So, like, my initial inclination is, like, I get that, right? Like, I wouldn't want to be responsible for anybody else's baby. Like, that kind of sucks. But then also at the same time, like, my social worker brain is like, you know, family and like child rearing is ideally from like a sociological perspective best done in community, right? Like the whole it takes a village thing is like very true. And like our very individualistic society disadvantages people. And when we talk about like rearing children, you know, like it's just not really the way that it used to be anyways. And so taking care of a kid is really hard when you're like full-time by yourself, especially if you don't have like a partner or like family or whatever. So I can also understand having like hurt feelings about your family not being excited for you, especially if you like you're excited for your baby, because like, you know, everybody thinks their kids are the coolest thing on planet Earth, right? Because it is kind of magical. Like you made a whole human, which is pretty fascinating. So I don't know how I feel about it. What are your thoughts, Hannah?
I think that mom, now wait till I finish the sentence before anybody judges me. I think mom is the asshole for saying not again and not for reacting the way that she did. But I don't think she's an asshole for feeling that way at all.
Ooh, that's a good distinction.
I personally think that it's her daughter's body and it's her daughter's life. She can have as many or as few kids as she wants. But on the other hand, it's her daughter's body and her daughter's life, not her mom's body, not her mom's life. And I think it's really unfair of the daughter to expect her mom not to be a little nervous.
I hear that.
I don't think mom should have been like, ugh, you're pregnant? Like that. I don't know how she could expect that not to hurt her daughter's feelings.
Yeah.
I think she should have been, wow, I'm so happy for you. I'm glad that you know, motherhood calls to you and that's really what you want to do.
Yeah.
However, we need to talk about this because I'm not the child's mother. You are, and you are not a teen mom. You are old enough.
Yeah.
If you're old enough to make the conscious decision to get pregnant, like it seems like she did. It seems like she was not, like it wasn't an accident. Then you need to figure it out. You got to figure out at least, I mean, figure out how to house and feed and care for the child. And then the parents, we will be there to babysit for date nights. We'll be there for, or we can help with childcare 2 days a week. So that you don't have to take them to daycare on those days and, you know, make an arrangement or something where she's not living in your house and like making it your child too, because it's not. But also not, like you said, like you're also be supportive. Like also you should want to help your grandkids too.
Yes. Yeah, I think
you
that's
should
a
want
good point.
to help out with your grandbabies. I mean, if you wanted kids enough to have them, then you most likely wanted grandchildren, or it would have been ideal to have grandchildren. So like, you know what I mean? Like,
yes, I think you're right, because like I very much get wanting to set boundaries around like, hold on a minute, right? Like just because you're having a fucking kid doesn't mean I want to fucking take care of them. Like that's not fair. But also like in the moment of finding out that your daughter is pregnant doesn't feel like the time to have that talk, you know? Like you have months probably to have that conversation about like, so where you moving to, right? Like that's, I think, a fair distinction, because like it does feel bad to have someone be like, ugh, when you're sharing something that like to the daughter is probably actually very exciting, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you too. Yeah. I think she could have saved that for a few months down the road when it's sunk in and she's like thought about the fact that she's going to have 2 kids now and stuff. I mean, it does suck though. I understand from the mom's perspective that maybe she thinks her daughter thinks having kids is so easy because she didn't, because I don't know how much work this mom is doing. She's making it sound like she's doing quite a bit, but like, you know, I
will say,
I think if mom has the means, she should help, but not that doesn't mean she has to be responsible for the kid.
Yeah. I think it also sort of pushes my buttons because it is kind of this like very boomer take of like, I already raised my kids and like did my time. And so like, I don't want to be responsible for my grandkids, which is like a little bit mean, you know, like you were saying, if you're having kids, you're likely entering into the possibility, or at least like the awareness that your kids could have their own kids. And so like, you know, why would you have kids if you don't, in theory, want to be somewhat involved with your grandkids?
Yeah.
You know, it's just like a weird sort of, it almost feels like judgmental and like I did my time. I don't want to be bothered with you and your kids.
Yeah.
And like, why don't you like your fucking grandkids,
true.
dude? Like, that's kind of rude, you know?
That's true.
Feels sort of hurtful.
And it's also right. And you also kind of like what we talk about when you have kids, they're their own person.
Yes.
They get to make their own choices. And if you're going to have kids, there's going to be the possibility that they're going to have kids younger than you'd like them to.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that like it does kind of seem like this like the life milestone thing of like, I don't agree with the way that she's doing it. And so like, therefore I'm not going to be supportive, which is like rude and mean, you know, like your daughter is not entitled to your like labor or you like providing her free childcare. But like, it does seem like a fair expectation that your daughter would want you to be happy for her or like supportive of her life decisions, even if you don't agree with them, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think mom's the asshole.
15 or 16-year-old girl, just
Different.
Hypothetically, do you think it would be different?
Yeah, I think so.
If she was pregnant again.
Well, yeah, and like
she already had a baby.
I think that would be different, especially because in that equation, that person's frontal lobe is not developed yet. That person's not a legal adult. They're not able to like actually really be responsible for the ramifications of that decision. But like, this person is like straight up an adult. They're allowed to make their own life choices, even if it doesn't make sense to mom, you know, like that just feels different. Because like in the case of a teenager, like mom / grandma is like legally responsible for the kid.
Is still responsible for both of them. Yeah. Do you want to, before I look at the comments, do you want to guess what other people think?
I'm trying to put myself...
I think everybody's going to say that mom's not an asshole.
I think so too.
The top comment says, maybe unpopular, but not the asshole. Oh, wait, no, that is what we thought. You helping with childcare is a privilege, not a right. And you already did well by her with her first kid. Boomer, I bet. Also, it's selfish to keep having them if you rely on other people to pick up the slack in your responsibilities. Okay, no, that is what I thought everybody would say. Yeah. Okay, so somebody from our last Am I the Asshole video told us to sort by controversial too.
Oh, interesting.
Because they were like, those are the ones that don't go with the grain. So I'm going to see what this controversial comment says. Are the fathers the same?
What does that
Are they
matter?
in the child's life? If the answer is no, I think you have a lot more to be upset about. What?
Ew.
Okay, this person said most people are saying not the asshole. This person says everybody sucks here. You're the asshole for your general reaction and not supporting your kid. And she's an asshole for being irresponsible and expecting you to support her blindly. Yeah.
I think that's a more fair take. I can get that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay.
I like that we look at them and like make our own conclusions or draw our own conclusions before we look at the comments, because it's always interesting to see how people respond.
Should we do the next one?
Yes.
Perfect.
This one doesn't have like an official verdict on it yet either. This says,
yay.
Am I the asshole for having my friends split the whole Airbnb fee instead of the discounted price? A few months ago, I, 25 female, booked an Airbnb for a trip I was taking with my family. Some plans changed and I ended up having to cancel the Airbnb, and instead of giving me a refund, they gave me a $200 credit for my next booking. Anyway, I am going on a trip with my friends next month, and I booked the Airbnb that we will be staying at. I am the planner of my friend group, so I usually am the one to book the places. The entire thing wound up being a little over $600 in total. There are 10 of us going, so I rounded down and asked everyone to pay me back $60 for it. I always send the receipt to them. Some of the people saw that I applied the $200 credit I got and asked why they had to pay $60 instead of $40. I explained that the credit wasn't something I got for free, but actually my money from a previous booking. Some of them are upset and feels like I'm just trying to hustle them out of money. And the others understand my position. Am I the asshole for making them pay the full amount even though I had some credit?
Wait, okay. I want to make sure I understand this correctly. So the first, she got the $200 credit, but she got a refund.
Yes. So basically what happened, previously she booked an Airbnb for a different trip and ended up having to cancel it. So she has, instead of like a refund to her bank account, Airbnb basically said, we'll give you like store credit. So you have a $200 credit towards your next booking. So it wasn't like she got a coupon for this Airbnb specifically. Right. This was a $200 refund that she got from a previous trip that she applied to this trip.
It was money she lost.
Correct.
Should I go first? I don't think she's the asshole.
I agree.
I don't think that's an asshole thing to do. I think it would be kind of slimy if you had like a $200 off Airbnb and instead of $800 you paid $600, but then you asked for everybody to pay as if it was $800.
Yes.
That would be side eye.
Yeah.
Like if you got a coupon and everybody's going, everybody should get that discount. Mm-hmm. But she paid the $200. That was literally just like an account balance.
Yes.
She still had to pay the full amount. Yes. And it was like she was paying her share, but she had just already paid her share a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't understand the... Okay, to be fair, I come from a very privileged position, though, where $20 wouldn't matter much to me.
True.
Like, if that did happen, I would just be like, whatever, not, like, I don't care, you know? And I know that not everybody is in that position, though. Yeah. So, that's
a fair acknowledgement.
My bias, though, with a grain of salt. So, yeah, I don't, but overall, I don't think she's the asshole for that. What do you think?
I don't think so either. I think... Personally, like I can sort of see the perspective of like, okay, so granted that $200 was hers to begin with. And like, you know, in my opinion, like she can do whatever she wants with that money, right? But I can sort of see that like the $200 would exceed what her share of the original cost was, right? Because if it's $60 per person, then there's like $140 essentially that like in theory could be divvied up,
discounted,
like divided by like, you know what, like the 9 other people, I guess. But like
then she'd be paying $200.
Yes,
and they would all be paying $40.
Correct. That's the thing that like to me means that she's not the asshole, because it's not her obligation to give you guys a discount on money that is like hers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like just because technically it's cheaper for her doesn't mean that you're like essentially entitled to some of her refund from before. Like that bothers me a little bit. I think that's, I guess, like a good disclaimer to make too, that we do come from like a privileged place that like if my friends were squabbling with me over $20, I'd be like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Like what fucking difference does it make? You know? And like, again, that is like a privileged thing that like $20 really doesn't amount to very much for us. But like I personally would be fucking irritated if my friends were like, I wanted to pay 40 instead of 60. I'd be like, pay 40 then, okay? Like pay your fucking $40 and leave me the fuck alone then, because I don't want to argue with you, you know? Like it's not that deep to me. But I think especially like, because to me money is like a button sometimes. Like when people are like especially stingy about money, I'm just kind of like what the fuck ever, you know? Because like
big amounts I understand. If it's a few $100s we're talking about, I get it. But like when we're trying to like, when you're in a group and you had a meal together and you're trying to Venmo each other and people are like, I had this and this and this and I just like add up about and I add a good ass tip to it and Venmo the person probably more than I owe them. Like I just I know.
Yeah, I think especially like for me, because I grew up in like, you know, not like affluent circumstances, right? Like I was poor growing up.
Same.
To me, like money is not a thing to be squabbled over, especially like small amounts like that, because like, I don't know, like I guess my family growing up had the perspective that like money comes and money goes and like you can't really necessarily control that. But like, you know, money, like growing up to us, money was a vehicle to like accomplish like necessary things that had to be done, like bills and stuff. And then also to like provide shared experiences with your family and like your friends. And
Yeah.
that was the thing that mattered, you know? So like,
Yeah.
we just didn't like lose sleep over like, you know, the cents in like your share of the restaurant bill and stuff. It was just kind of like it's fine, you know? So like, yeah, I personally feel like her friends are the assholes and she's not.
I think they are.
Yeah.
I think that's ridiculous because they're basically asking her to pay way more than any of them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what they're asking.
Yes. Yeah.
I think a lot of, I don't know. Now, I don't want to be mean, but I wonder if some of her friends are a little dumb. And maybe the optics of it makes it like they can't conceptualize the fact
they don't get
that
it.
she already paid that money. And to them, it looks like she got this Airbnb discount and that she's not sharing it with them.
Yeah. Because like it would be different
see that,
if like the Airbnb owner was like, oh, there's like a special discount for this weekend, so I'll take $200 off the total price. And the friend was like, no, I'm still charging your asses full price. Like that's rude. You know, but that's not what happened. So I wonder if you're right. Her friends might be under the impression that it's not what it is. I think that's what it is. Let's look at the comments.
I think everybody's going to agree with us.
Yeah. Top comment says, not the asshole. The $200 credit is still your money, not your friends.
Thank you.
Just because you have a credit versus the actual refund doesn't change that. You still had to spend that money in the first place to get that credit. Anyone who disagrees with you has no perception of money.
Like that's kind of what we said, is that maybe they're just not good at math and they can't understand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, somebody said it's like having split checks and paying your portion using a gift card. You all paid the same amount.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Because if they had like an Airbnb gift card and like the total on it was $200 and they used the gift card, it's not like, oh, I'm discounting you guys. Like this was still my fucking gift card and I'm not spending my money on you.
Somebody gave them the gift card for Christmas.
Yes, I used the gift card to cover my share, but like basically reimburse me for the excess of my share that I spent because I'm not just like going to cover it for you. That's not fair.
And they're like arguing that she should share her gift card.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Let's sort by controversial. Do you want to sort by controversial and see what they say?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. So this one says, I know this will be an unpopular opinion, but yes, you're the asshole. Mind you, this comment has 12 downvotes.
Yeah.
It's like negative 12. You are literally using your friends to exchange a $200 Airbnb credit into $140 cash in hand. Some of the people saw that means that you did not discuss it with them. And no, it doesn't matter where you got the credit from and that it was owed to you prior to this new financial arrangement with them. Is it a big deal? No. Would there be a difference in what they pay without it? Also, no. Should anyone be angry or butthurt? No. However, you should take some responsibility in creating a situation that can be viewed questionably, even if there are no damages done. So you're the asshole, but it's no biggie, and your friends, well, okay, they made a shitty comment, and then enjoy your vacation, whatever. Just like
nothing they said after that could not sound passive aggressive.
Also, too, they basically were like, is it a big deal? No. Should you have to pay for it? No. Should your friends be hurt? No. But also, you're still an asshole.
But you're still your fault.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It seems like all of the other comments agree with us, though.
Okay. That one's pretty.
Yeah.
Ooh, do you want to do another couple food one?
Yes.
Am I the asshole for not cooking for my wife while cooking for my daughter? I'm a stay-at-home dad, mostly because my work doesn't need me to work more than a few hours a week to earn a living. So I used to pack food for my wife and daughter, since I usually cooked large amounts of food for myself as meal prep for the week and made differently sized portions for I think he meant each of them. I usually cook something low calorie since it's what I need to eat to achieve my goals at the gym. But my wife has been pestering me to cook some more unhealthy.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't even get through this. You mean food that other people enjoy? Like a variety? Like not just bland, unseasoned chicken and broccoli? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I tried cooking 2 separate things, one for myself and my daughter and one for her. I realized after a week that it was just unsustainable to cook 6 separate meals every day while doing the rest of the household chores and still having time left over to go to the gym and enjoy my hobbies.
Sure.
I told my wife if she wants to eat something different than us, she should go cook for herself or go eat out. She complained that it was unfair I wouldn't cook for her even though I stayed home all day. If I told her if she wanted me to cook for her every day, she could pick up some chores around the house so that I would have time to do that. So am I the asshole? Oh.
Ooh, am I going first on this one?
Go first. Go off. Tell us how you feel about that.
So hear me out.
Okay.
To me, not the asshole. Only because if we reversed this situation in terms of the genders, it would be a no-brainer to say that, like, you don't get to exploit your wife into making you your, like, desired meals. Like, if you don't want what she's cooking, then, like, fucking tough bananas, you know? And so, like, I think in fairness, like, that is still an opinion that I stand by, you know? I guess also, to be clear, to make sure I'm understanding correctly, he is offering to make food for her if she's going to eat the stuff he's already making, right? Like his meal prep
I think
stuff.
so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He said if he wants to eat with them, he'll make enough for everybody.
Yeah. So like,
but if you don't want it.
To me, I don't know. To me, if she, like he's saying, if she wants to eat something that's not what he's already making, then like make something for yourself, you know? Because he is offering to cook food for you guys and for you guys to eat as a family. And like, I don't love that he's basically like, eat what I cook you or deal with it. Like that is kind of rude. But also at the same time, if he's doing the bulk of the chores and like the house stuff, like that's a lot of mental load, you know, to be like basically doing all of the house care tasks. And then also cook like a bunch of separate meals like that, you know?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I want to go back to what you started with about the roles being reversed. And if this was a woman and a man complaining about not getting, I agree with you. However, I would like to say it is comical that this guy is acting like he is doing the Lord's work and doing the absolute most when this is literally what 90% of women do for their family and they never complain about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just saying, listen, I'm just saying that this is a normal everyday occurrence for a lot of women making different foods for different kids because they're picky, making things for their husband specifically because it's their favorite meal and wanting their husband to have a good meal when he comes home from work. Sure. And then also taking care of the kids and doing all of the house chores on top of it. It is a lot of work. I'm not saying that there's anything like great on this guy for like taking on a societal traditional role that women typically end up taking. Yeah. But the fact that he's acting like he is doing the mostest is just kind of pushes my buttons.
That's fair.
Because
I hear that.
So many women do this and then some.
Yeah.
And they never complain or talk about it at all. And it feels a little whiny to me that he's acting like because he's a man, he's more of a hero for it. But maybe I'm being too hard on men though. Like sometimes, you know, my feministness goes the wrong way. Because I don't hate men, of course, but I am really sick of the narrative that men don't help with house chores and stuff like that. Like that really, I'm so sick of men complaining about having to help out around the house. Yeah. And so anytime this stuff comes up, I'm sorry. So I do get a little touchy about that. Yeah. So I should calm down. But I do agree with you that I don't think he's the asshole for saying, like, if you don't want what I cook, then I'm sorry. I think that's a reasonable thing to tell a child who's old enough to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for themselves. Yeah. You make dinner. You tell them this is what we're having for dinner. You're welcome to have as much as you want. If you don't like this food, I don't want to hear about it. You're welcome to go in the kitchen and make whatever you want.
Yeah.
I think that's what we would tell. I think she's an adult. I think she could go in the kitchen and make herself a PB&J.
Yes.
If she doesn't like what he's cooking. Well, and I do agree that if anybody's cooking for you, then that's a very nice thing for them to do.
Yes. Because I think the only like counterpoint that I have is that like you're right. There are lots of women who are being coerced into this type of labor, essentially, where they like cook everything. They cook separate meals for people who want to eat separate stuff and still do all of the household labor and then also usually work on top of that. However, that's also not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, just because there are some people who do that and are like not complaining about it doesn't mean that it's like fair necessarily. And like in that scenario, I would still very much vote that the husband is the fucking asshole for forcing them to do that or like pressuring them into doing that, you know?
You mean in this, if it was reversed?
Yeah.
True.
So agreed. I think, well, and also too, because like you were saying, she, the wife is like very much old enough and like responsible enough to take care of herself, right? Like she's not a child in this equation. I will say the only thing about this that would make me say that the husband is the asshole is the like staunch commitment to like you were saying, we're eating like steamed rice, broccoli, and unseasoned chicken. 'Cause like, fucking relax, you know, like life is meant to be fun and like quit it. Like I don't think it would kill you to make like fun food for you and your wife, you know, because like sure, can you like maintain some of your fitness goals and make your own like meal prep stuff? Absolutely. But also, is it like really that much of a compromise to say like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to eat fun food so that we can have some mac
and cheese with our chicken.
Yeah, well, and so that we can eat as a family, right? Like, give it up. Like, quit being such a weirdo about, like, you know, this commitment to, like, only eating the food that I want every day out of the week. You know, like, would it really kill you to say, like, I value quality time with my family more than I value this, like, seemingly aggressive commitment to eating bland and unfun food, you know?
Yeah, and I want to be very clear that it doesn't mean that we're like, yay, only non-nutritious food for dinner and for your child and everything. Like, I totally get wanting your kid to eat vegetables and eat as healthy as possible, but like my personal take on food, especially for kids, is balance and neutrality. And you add, like, you could have some mac and cheese with your broccoli and your chicken, or your, you know, or chicken nuggets one night from a bag in the freezer, but have some vegetables with it. Like, just, I do agree with that it's like, I would like to know what he's making for them. Because if he's making steamed spinach and chicken and expecting her to be okay with that every single night is like, I don't know. Yeah. Or like you said, like maybe every Friday they could do takeout where she gets to pick the restaurant.
Yeah. You
something.
know?
And then and then the rest of the week she can figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the other thing that's important to acknowledge in this situation is that this is like quite literally my living arrangement, right? Aaron usually is the one to like make food more often than not because he just has more spoons for like tasks than I do.
Yeah.
And so especially like because he has a day job where he like leaves the house and I don't, I can cook my own food for my own mealtime at home because I hate leftovers. I hate them. It's a sensory thing. I really fucking don't like meal prep containers. They gross me out. But Aaron has to make food that he can make as leftovers to take to work and stuff. And we used to try really hard to find the balance between the two things, and it just became like a source of contention for us. So now he makes food that he knows he will want to eat at work, and then when we have free time together, we'll cook together. But for the rest of the time, it's kind of understood that like this is your job, right? Like feed yourself. We have like, you know, ingredients, like we go grocery shopping together, so I buy ingredients that I know I can make my own meals, or like I have easy like pre-made stuff that will, you know, meet my nutritional needs but also like not be hard to make. So like to me, it just seems like kind of a no-brainer to like structure your grocery list basically around like, you know, eating food that's fun for you.
I'm sorry, I don't have any input on this because for the last few weeks, I've been either eating grilled dinner or takeout every single fucking night.
I feel that, honestly.
I am not advertising the picture of health over here by any means.
Sure.
But oh my God, I have been eating lots of takeout and stuff because I hate cooking. So this entire thing to me, I'm like, if I don't find a spouse that wants to cook, that likes cooking, I'm eating takeout for the rest of my life because...
Which is a valid choice, honestly. You know?
I seriously am considering Taco Bell tonight for dinner.
Ooh, yum. Aren't you so glad that I evangelized you into eating Taco Bell, Hannah?
Yes, you totally did. I had a chalupa for the first time. I'd never had one of those.
What did you think?
What the fuck?
Aren't they so good?
That was so good. It was better than the Locos Tacos. And I did not think anything could beat the Doritos Locos Tacos.
Yeah.
And that chalupa was so fucking good.
Yes.
The other thing I haven't tried because if it doesn't have meat in it, I have a weird thing about I only want to eat meals with meat. I know it's terrible.
You're
it's
allowed.
very bad for the environment. But I know it just feels like a terrible thing to do, to eat that much meat. But okay. But the potato taco too looks really good, but I've never tried it. Is that one good? Should I try that one?
They're so good, Hannah.
Is it good?
They're life-changingly good. The potatoes from Taco Bell, they're like the perfect little seasoning blend where they're like a tiny little bit spicy and they're crunchy and they're like kind of zesty and fun, but they're not like
I did
too
have
spicy.
some of them in Vegas.
They're so good.
Yeah, they were really good, but I hadn't had them in a taco. And I'm like, a little spicy in a taco might be really good.
I like them better in the taco than I do in like the cheesy fiesta potato, like the bowl thing.
Oh, okay.
Because I think they get soggy in the bowl. And I'm a texture person. I like the crispiness of them in the taco.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Okay. Well, I better get some chalupas and some...
Also, pro tip, if the not having meat in them is an issue for you, you can order your stuff in advance on the Taco Bell app and you can customize stuff really easily on there. So you can add a scoop of meat into the spicy potato soft taco if you want to try it that way.
That's true. I think for me, I'm just so bad at feeding myself, and I eat I do the meal kits too. Like I was doing Factor for a long time and I really loved them. Yeah. And the meal kits I was doing, but I just also would cook and then I wouldn't eat the leftovers because I'd get sick of it and stuff. And so I just was like wasting food and wasting money. So I stopped doing those. So I'm taking a break from meal kits for a while. And then I'm so bad at feeding myself, you guys, because I don't think people can understand just how much I don't enjoy cooking. I don't like it. It does not give me joy.
It's not for everyone.
Some people really enjoy it. Fucking hate it, right? So I'm so bad at feeding myself. So when I do feed myself, I feel like I need a lot of protein in it. Like I feel like I need the maximum amount of high protein parts of it because I don't want to get hungry again and then have the same problem.
Feel that.
And end up eating Captain Crunch for dinner again.
Yes.
So...
Have we talked about snake meal, Hannah?
Because that doesn't fill me up at all. Have what?
Have we talked about snake meal?
No.
I haven't told you about this yet.
What is that?
It's like, I think it was a TikTok trend originally of people just joking about snake meal. It's a very neurodivergent coded thing to do, but I relate to this because I do the same thing where if I am going to cook, because it takes a lot of effort for me. It's not that I don't enjoy cooking, but it's just that I have very little energy and attention to expend throughout the day. So if I'm going to meet my critical tasks, usually by the end of the day, I'm like, there's no more fucking energy left for cooking. So if I'm going to cook something for myself or prepare a meal, it needs to be protein and nutrient and complex carb dense so that I'm full for a very long time.
Yeah.
But what this ends up meaning is that I have something called snake meal in the middle of the fucking day where you basically, it's like just eating a fucking big giant meal once per day instead of eating a regular amount of meals. So you eat a fucking reptile where you just eat this big fucking meal and then power down in the afternoon.
I was wondering where this was going. I was trying to figure out if you meant meal as in food or meal as in the item meal, the noun.
Ew.
I was like, what?
No,
snake meal? I thought it was gonna be some weird you don't know what to eat, so you just eat snake food or something. I did not know where you were going with that.
Yeah, you know how anacondas will swallow an egg whole and they just have this big lump.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they right.
Snake
I get what
meal.
you mean. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I feel that. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at any of it. I just I will eat leftovers, but I can't eat them more than once, and it depends on the leftovers too.
Yes.
I'd also like, yeah,
thank you.
I do get.
I feel very seen right now.
I think if it's leftover takeout, I'm definitely better. Like teriyaki, always have way too much food. I always split the teriyaki. I always eat half the teriyaki I get, and then I save the rest for lunch the next day.
Yes.
And it's fantastic. It reheats really well, though.
Yes.
Very often, if I have leftovers from cooking myself, when I do cook, I just end up like, oh, I don't want that. And then I just wait for it to go bad enough that I can't eat it anyway.
Yes.
And then I
to avoid the guilt of throwing it in the trash. Yeah. The other thing that I have an issue with leftovers with is that I have the worst anxiety about getting food poisoning.
Oh, shit.
I am so stressed about the idea of my food going rotten that, like, if it's sat in the fridge for longer than 48 hours, I'm like, it's going to poison me. It's going to fucking kill me. I'll get food poisoning and I'll be sick for days, so I can't eat it. And then I just wait until it's, like, obviously bad, like it has mold on it, and then I throw it away because I'm like, can't be helped, can't be eaten.
I will eat the next day. Yeah, I don't eat more than a couple days usually either, though. Like,
it stresses me out.
I'm not. Do you have a fear of throwing up?
No, I don't. No, I don't have emetophobia at all. But it's just more so like I'm afraid that things are rotten like most of the time. It's my own thing, but like leftovers especially because there's condensation usually inside of the containers.
Yeah. No, I get you.
I'm like, oh, gross. That must
like
be bad.
Pasta and stuff.
Oh, ew.
Yeah. It's kind of, no, I get it.
Not for me.
I had when I was dating my ex many years ago, and one time I told him, I was like, well, I'm sanitizing the counters because I like would get wipes out and sanitize shit all the time, like the counters and stuff. And I'd be like, well, there might be E. coli on it, or like there might, like foodborne illnesses, salmonella and stuff. And he's like, think about that for a second. Do you actually think that there's E. coli on your counters right now? How often do you think E. coli enters your house? And I looked at him and I was like, yeah, still makes me feel better though. Like,
okay, but also this is I'm just activating everybody's anxiety. Trigger warning for like contamination issues. Fine. I'm so sorry. But this is a real concern though if you have pets, because if you have pets and you wash their food bowls in your sink, you should ideally be like sanitizing your sink somewhat regularly, because our pets lick their business and then they use that same mouth to drink their water from their water bowl or to eat from their food bowl. So if you wash that, like using the same sponge, for example, that you wash your regular dishes, like throw that shit away, because it might have like E. coli from your pet stuff on it and just like lives on it. So like you sanitizing.
First of all, who uses a sponge to wash their dishes?
Listen, I do use a Scrub Daddy because they're life-changing. Okay,
Scrub Daddy I think are pretty resistant to bacteria though. I use Scrub Daddy for cleaning, not for But I thought everybody threw their nasty green sponges away years ago for food anyway.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Second of all, fun fact, I this probably won't help because like you said, it's kind of like a psychological like perpetuation or whatever, but like washing stuff down the drain is more effective than almost anything else. Like washing off a counter with soap and hot water and washing something away, washing your hands is 10 times better than sanitizing your hands, right? Because soap and water, washing it down the drain actually does get rid of salmonella and other stuff pretty effectively. Would I use the same thing to wash my dog's dish as my own dish? I would never.
Same.
Like literally, I just thought that was natural though. Like I thought that was like a normal. I didn't think anybody did that.
Listen, I had to tell Aaron about it because he was using the same, and I was like, "Ew, throw that away."
You were like, "Stop!" Our dogs lick their butts.
Yes. Well, we have 4 pets, so we're cleaning their water bowls and the cat dishes and like all the stuff all the time. So.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the sink itself, like harboring the bacteria and stuff, and I'm like, I think most of that's going to wash down the drain pretty well.
I mean,
and
ideally,
you're not like setting it in the dirty sink and then putting it in the cupboard.
Yeah, no. Like ideally, we do want to be washing our sink, like especially if you like drop produce or anything in the basin of your sink, like definitely wash it off after, because your sink is actually the dirtiest place in your kitchen.
I throw stuff away if it falls in my sink.
Same. I think what we're learning from this podcast episode, Hannah, is that you and I both have a contamination issue. We both have an issue with germs.
I had to stop watching my mom cook because she would get so annoyed with me because I would tell, like, if she's making burgers or something and she would touch the knife with her burger hand and put it in the sink, and then she would touch the faucet, and she does not worry about that kind of stuff. And mind you, she's been cooking for 30 some years for her family, and we have never gotten sick. We have never once gotten sick from my mom's cooking. But still, I'm watching her and I'm like, you're just gonna touch the handle with your raw meat hands? And she pretty much looked at me and was like, go over there. Like, she was, because I was just every single thing. And she could see that it was I'm not diagnosing myself, but I do have some OCD magical thinking tendencies and rituals, and that is one of them. And like, so yeah, like when I make raw chicken, on the very rare occasion that I do, I straight up have food gloves. I have nitrile gloves that I use because I don't want to touch it and I don't want it. And then I feel like it's contaminated my whole kitchen. So
yeah, I'm like a stickler about it with Aaron. He gets really annoyed at me too. And I'm like, listen, we live here together. Clean stuff. Just spray it down. God. Okay. Do we want to do another one?
Let's do one more quick one. Yep.
Okay.
Got way back on a tangent.
Oops.
You guys. Okay. Sorry. You pick the last one since
Okay.
I did two, and then you did one, and then if you do one, then we both did two.
Perfect.
Just in case anybody out there is doing the math.
Okay. Here.
Yeah.
This one is not very old at the time that we're watching this, so it has no rating and probably very few comments. So we'll see.
Okay, let's do it.
This says, am I the asshole for not wanting a dog in a cafe? I, 43 male, went with my wife, 41 female, to visit some friends, 45 male and 43 female, in their city this weekend. On Saturday morning, we went to a cafe together before doing tourist things. In the cafe, one of their customers had a dog with them, laying down under the table. Apparently, this is one of our friends' neighbors. They knew each other and everyone was petting the dog. I know this wasn't a service dog because the owner was letting everyone pet it. I told the neighbor that his dog is not allowed in the cafe and he had to leave. He said that the dog was not bothering anyone, and he said that well-behaved dogs were allowed in this cafe. He pointed to a sign that said, well-behaved dogs are okay. I told one of the baristas that there was a dog in the cafe and that this was not allowed. She also pointed me to the sign and said that the dog was being quiet and good, so they allowed it. I told the barista that health regulations forbids dogs in places that serve food. She said it was their policy to allow peaceful dogs. A manager came and asked me to leave because I was, quote, making a scene. I told him that it didn't matter what their policy is because the law is clear that you cannot have a dog in places that serve food. He said that I was free to report them, but I couldn't stay in the cafe. My wife and friends left the cafe, so I left with them. I didn't think I did anything wrong because the law is on my side. But my wife and friends said that I embarrassed them and they made fun of me whenever they saw a dog walking around. My friend said that this cafe is dog friendly and a lot of people bring their dogs. My wife also said that our friends would have to apologize to their neighbor for making a scene, so I should have just kept my mouth shut. I acknowledged that the dog was not bothering anyone, but still, the law says it's not allowed, so I don't think it matters what the cafe's policy is. So, you go first. What's your opinion?
What is the male version of a Karen?
I was going to say
Lord.
Ken, but after the Barbie movie, that doesn't feel appropriate. So
yeah,
like,
that doesn't feel right. That would be an insult to
Ken. Yeah.
Joshua.
Yeah, like I don't know, what's a K name? Keith also doesn't feel
like a
right.
Keith. I know. I feel so bad for anybody named those.
Yeah.
This guy is a huge fucking asshole. What the fuck? Yeah. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? The audacity.
Ew.
Wow. I feel so bad for his wife and friends that had to sit there while
I would be mortified.
I would have been mortified. I was in there's a guy that brings his dog into the Starbucks that I go to sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's like this pit bull mixy dog, and literally this dog will lay on the bench next to him while he drinks his coffee. Do you think that dog's allowed? Absolutely not. Does anybody care? No. Does the barista say anything? No, because the dog literally sleeps and doesn't do anything. So dogs aren't even allowed in Starbucks, yet nobody cares.
Yes.
This guy has way too much time on his hands.
Yes.
Holy fucking shit.
Why
to
does he
care that much.
And like,
what? I am flabbergasted that he had to ask Reddit if he's an asshole.
I know. Okay, so here's the thing. I can understand that some people have a difficult time with like the like rules are rules and we should follow them thing.
Yeah.
But like, first of all, the dog's not doing anything to you, right? Like it would be different if everybody else thought the dog was being real cute, but the dog's like jumping up on you or like brushing, like stealing food from the table or like brushing its tail up on something, you know, like
That's
whatever.
not a well-behaved dog.
Exactly. Yeah. Yes. But like the dog's not
allowed.
affecting you. The dog's not bothering you. And the cafe like so clearly states that this isn't an issue. Also too, like the thing that's so interesting to me is that like your friends clearly knew this person and still you're trying to like essentially get the dog and that person kicked out of the cafe. Like that's so unbelievably fucking rude. Like what's it to you?
That adds another layer of it. That adds a whole other layer to this.
Yes.
That is so... Unless that dog shit on your coffee in the cafe, I literally do not like, and I'm also like, I get some people have a legitimate fear of dogs. They're scared of dogs. They really don't like them.
Yeah.
Maybe don't go to a dog friendly cafe then. Yes. There's cat cafes that have cats all over them.
Yes.
Restaurants let dogs outside. There's breweries that are dog friendly and they serve food and drinks. It's not necessarily against the law every single place. This guy... This seems very much like it doesn't seem like he's scared of dogs though. No. This seems very much like a control freak thing. And I don't like it. So therefore I'm going to pretend like it's a law just because I don't want anybody to have fun and stuff like that. That must have been... That's
so embarrassing.
Wild.
That's so embarrassing. I would have literally died 1,000 deaths. Like Aaron and I would have actually gotten in a fight if he like... tried to die on this hill of like this person and their dog should get kicked out. Like I would have been. You wouldn't date or marry
somebody who would do that though.
No, that's true. Yeah. The first time something like that came up, it would have been an immediate red flag.
Yeah.
Wow. I just can't get over the fact that even after the person was like, oh, the cafe allows it, and the cafe said, oh, they allow it, that he still was like, but the law. Like, hello?
You don't actually care.
That's so weird. That's super, super control freak.
I think it's so funny that they asked him to leave.
But also like
that they were like, there is a misbehaving dog in this cafe and it is not the canine.
Yes. Well,
it's you.
I think that's the other thing too, because, you know, like you were saying, if people are like afraid of dogs or whatever, you know, like that's super fair. But like if the place's rules are not being broken, then like the obligation is on you to remove yourself from any situation that feels unsafe or like that you don't like, right? Like I just don't see the problem. I would argue
here. Even if the cafe had a no dog policy, I would still argue that you're an asshole for making that big of a scene. Because if the workers are not, it's the workers' responsibility or the manager's responsibility to take care of that person.
Yes.
And again, if the dog was being really annoying and making people uncomfortable, obviously, but then again, it's the manager's responsibility to go over and say, hey, no dogs are allowed in here.
Yeah.
You're welcome to sit outside or something like that, you know, and enjoy your drink outside or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would still argue that this guy is taking on the burden of things that he does not need to be taking on. And I've learned that in therapy of like, that's something I learned in therapy of like, you don't put energy into shit like that.
Yes.
Like just, you can't control other people. Just the let them philosophy, you know, the like, if it's not hurting you, if it's not hurting others, then
it's fine.
Whatever.
right? This is for sure the man who like reports his coworkers to HR and tries to get people fired when they clock out 2 minutes before 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Right? This is that guy. And just like nobody fucking likes that guy. Stop being that fucking guy. If it's not hurting you, then just like look the other way, you know?
Well, I just want to ask him, was the confrontation worth it? Was that entire scene that he made worth the fact that nothing even came out of it? Like, was it worth it? Because that's usually what I ask myself before confrontation. I'm like, if I do feel like I need to say something to somebody, I'm like, am I going to be thinking about it the rest of the day if I did go and ask or confront them? And if the answer is yes, then it's not worth it.
Exactly.
Then it's not worth it.
Also, like, feasibly, like, or like, ostensibly, who is this helping? Right? Like, who are you saving in this equation? What positive benefit is dying on this hill providing you or anybody involved in this situation?
Because you're the only one who doesn't want that dog there. Everybody else loves the dog.
Yes. When it's also just giving like bootlicker energy, you know? Like trying to call the police on somebody who's going over the speed limit kind of a thing. Like, relax, you know?
Like, dude.
This is not your burden to bear. And like, is the federal government going to give you a phone call, even if that is a real law, to be like, thank you, Good Samaritan, for reporting this kind, quiet dog for violating the law? Like, who cares? It's just a weird thing.
Grass, go touch it.
Yes, very much a go outside moment. Yeah. Well, that was a nice one to end on. That was a pretty clear cut. Yeah, let's look at the comments.
That was pretty fun, yeah. Look at the comment.
Yeah, the top comment with 1.3 thousand upvotes says, "You're the asshole. No one asked you to be hall monitor, and your entire crusade is based on an assumption." OP also used to remind the teacher if they forgot to assign homework to the class.
That's so good. I love that.
Yeah, somebody else said, "You're the asshole. You're not the police. Your job is not to enforce laws. If you think the dog's presence was breaking the law, you can leave and report the establishment. You did not do that. You made a scene. You made yourself the center of attention and a major source of frustration for everyone involved. That makes you the asshole. When you own and run your own cafe, you can put up a no dogs allowed sign and kick every dog owner out of the establishment. But this was not your cafe, so you can't do that." Yeah, I don't.
Did the OP respond to anybody?
No, I don't think so. Not that I can see. Yeah.
There was one that I was on. Sometimes I lurk on there and answer and stuff. Mm-hmm. And there was one guy who said he was my age, like 32-year-old male. Yeah. And he was so mad that his friend who had promised that he would take him to Hawaii, like take him on a trip and pay for the whole thing, but he was mad because the friend didn't have time to do it with him, and that he was so focused on his wedding and his wife because he was getting married soon. I'm not even kidding. And he's like, "But I'm the best man. I didn't even really want to be the best man, but I just said yes because," and now he's going back on his word, and now he won't take me on a business. Like, he literally sounded like a 12-year-old boy. And I responded and I was like, "Are you 12? Like, what is going on?" And then he argued with everybody in the comments. Like, he kept arguing with me, and he was insisting that he was not the asshole. And then everybody was finally like, "Why did you ask us?"
Yes.
Because every time somebody gave him an answer, he was like, no, I'm not. He promised. Okay. I'm like, he's a grown man getting married. He's more concerned about his wife, and he doesn't owe you shit. Are you kidding me? And that was like, everybody was saying that.
Yes.
And he was like, no, because he promised. So funny.
That's like very much the thing of like, why did you post here, right? Like, clearly you're not actually interested in people's opinions. You just want someone to tell you your own opinion.
Validation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Which, like, in that case, ask one of your other friends about it or something, you know? Like, ask one of your yes man friends to tell you.
Why are you asking us if you don't want the truth?
Like,
don't ask strangers on the internet.
That's so weird.
All right,
perfect.
Love it. Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for being patient with us while we're, just in a busy season of life.
In a weird time, yes. Yeah. Yes. We are still going to be every other week, probably for the rest of the year, at least. And we'll probably be, Mickey and I are so busy that we probably can't sit down and talk about it seriously, everything. However, I will say our channel has grown quite a bit. We got we hit over 2,000 subscribers, so thank you everybody for that. And it was up to 2160 or something like that from the last episode. We got almost 200.
Hell yeah.
I know. So that's
Thanks,
great.
everybody.
So I just hope that soon in the future we're gonna have the resources to come up with a solution and go back to weekly. So
yeah, we appreciate you guys so much for supporting us. And if you want to be supportive of the podcast, that's one of the best things you can do is like the videos and subscribe and engage with the content, so
yes.
Thanks for
Leave
being
us a 5-star
here.
review on any platform you're listening on, because that would also help us a lot as well.
Sure does.
Help
All right,
Mickey
perfect.
and Hannah get our first sponsorship.
Yeah. Help us help you, really.
Help us.
This is the philanthropic content that everybody needs.
Is not doing it. Yes, exactly. So
perfect. All right.
All right, everybody. We will see you next time.
See you then.
And
Bye.
I think the next episode will be in Tucson.
That's right. Ah! Wow, that's so exciting. Okay, great.
I know.
All right, we'll see you then.
Okay, bye.
Bye.